Alrighty guys, we're back on YouTube. We just finished up eating some Chick-fil-A and we got our sweet Nico with us. Today we're actually heading over to one of our wholesale deals. And it's cool because we don't usually get to film videos like these because most of the time the homeowner lives in the house or they have tenants in place, but this one's completely vacant. So I figured, why not take you guys along with me? And we've already been to the property a couple of times. Today, we have to help the family move out and sell these 2 scooters for them. So that's why we're heading over there today. So this one should be pretty fun. Also, I want to show you guys what real wholesaling looks like. So this video isn't going to be anything about flexing how much money we made or anything like that, or how much we're going to make. I just want to take you guys along with me to show you the behind the scenes of getting a deal to the closing table, because this is something that the homeowners requested that we do. So we're heading over there now to get these scooters out of the house and get them listed on Facebook Marketplace. So see you guys there. All right, so here we are. This is it. As you can tell, this property has been neglected for a good little bit. So, and that's where we specialize. You find deals like this is where your money is made, is in properties that are run down. And you can make really good money with properties that look good too, but in reality, you find really good deals like this, you're gonna make some good money. So let's go inside. What is that noise? All right guys, so we hear some, I don't know if you guys can hear that, come closer. What the heck? Oh, it's the alarm. Why is the alarm going off? I gotta call the seller, I don't know what's going on. We walked in and the alarm's going off, and
if you will flip it was doing it yesterday when we got there too.
okay.
If you'll flip the little lid down, and just push any of the numbers is what I did. I just pushed like number 1 and 2, I think.
Okay, yeah, we got it. It's all good.
Yeah.
Alrighty guys, so this is the property that we're dealing with. As you can tell, I don't look like I'm gonna flip this house by any means. So this is what we do. We find the properties that look like this, that need a lot of work. We get them under contract and then we sell them to the people who do the work. So it's a good thing, because that's how I keep my hands so soft. Some sort of a Diddy joke, right? Oh. I don't think this thing works, or it needs to be charged 1. We're gonna go find the other one. The other one is in the very back. Here's the other scooter. I think this one works. Definitely needs to be cleaned up though. Oh, this one has a key, bro. Watch out. Oh. Imagine you're like in here exploring this house in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden this thing just starts moving. That'd be so freaky.
Yeah, send me the address. I can come on now.
Sweet. Thank you. So that was Hannah's brother, and he's on the way. He's going to help us actually load these things. So let's get these scooters out and load them up. We figured out that this one moves too, so it's very slow. It's a lot slower than the other one, but at least we don't have to charge it, so that's good. So the family didn't want to deal with any of the cleanup, as you can see. They didn't want to deal with any of the listing process. They didn't want to go through any trouble or any hassle, which is why our team stepped in. We're handling all the paperwork that we have to deal with, everything to do with title, and even some of the cleanup. And speaking of the cleanup, is these famous scooters. So apparently I'm a wholesaler and a scooter salesman now. Shit was not funny. Bro, what is happening? Alrighty guys, told you guys I don't like getting my hands dirty. Literally don't like getting my hands dirty. We got the first one on the back of the truck, now we gotta get the second. That first one, I'm already winded. Let's go! We're gonna get these scooters cleaned up, and then I'm gonna get into breaking down the numbers on how this deal works. All right guys, so since you just saw me walk through the property, I figured I'd get on here and show you guys the most in-depth deal breakdown that anyone has ever put on YouTube for the wholesaling real estate industry. Okay, so this is the house that you guys just saw me walk through. And as you can see here, it says pending. However, it's the weekend while I'm recording this. The MLS hasn't updated yet, but we just got this property sold. Okay, So let's break down every single step of the way from how we got the lead, and then we'll go into how we got the deal sold and etc. Okay, so this is the legit screenshot of the guy I hired to get the lead for me. Now, at this time, this was around June. As you can see, we started our contract June 16th, 2025. Now, I wanted to do some outbound SMS marketing to target more of a niche audience. So with this guy, we were targeting pre-foreclosures and probates specifically in my surrounding areas. So we targeted an area probably about 15-20 minutes away from me. And then we also targeted one of the biggest counties in Georgia, which was Gwinnett County. Okay. So as you can see right here, I paid this guy $5 an hour. I spent a total of $87.50. Okay, so basically what this guy's job was to go out and pull county data for me. Now he was pulling the pre-foreclosures and the probates from those two counties specifically, and it was a very niche audience for us to go out to market to them in a very niche way. Okay, and if you guys want to go hire this guy, he is a really good person to work with. He's very flexible, and not only that, this guy like actually knows what he's doing. And as you can tell in this video, we're breaking down a deal that he brought me. Okay, once I paid him to go get the data, he would then send all of this data into a Google spreadsheet. Okay, and as you can see right here, we have the probates right there and the pre-foreclosures right there, so we would know how to identify which one was which. And as you can see, literally the fourth probate lead he sent was the one that we are talking about in this video specifically. So this is the actual list. It's a screenshot of the actual list that he sent me. All right, so now that we have the data, what do we do with it, right? So you could do two things with it. I know a lot of people like to go door knock, especially if it's close by. I don't like that type of work. I don't want to go out and knock doors and interact with people in person. I'd rather do that once they've already shown interest that they want to sell. Okay, because just because we have the list doesn't mean everybody on this list wants to sell, right? What it means is, since this is a very niche data list, like these people could be potentially wanting to sell. This doesn't mean everybody on the list wants to sell, right? Now that we have all of the data, we would take that data and put it into Launch Control. Now, Launch Control, it's a paid software that we use to blast out text messages, okay? So you don't have to sit there on your phone cold calling every single lead or manually texting every single lead. We just upload all of the data from the Google Sheets, put that into Launch Control, and blast out our messages, right? Now you might be wondering, okay, well, what type of messages do I send? Make it something you would respond to, right? Like you don't have to go out, put it in ChatGPT, like give me the best message ever. No, just create something that you would genuinely respond to, right? So literally we keep it simple. We just say, hey, this is name. Hey, this is Gunner. Are you planning on selling 123 Main Street anytime soon? That's it. And we get a response. It's either going to be yes or no. Like sometimes you'll get messages that say F off and cuss you out and all that stuff. Just ignore those, right? But the people who say yes, keep in touch with, follow up with those people, try to set an appointment for you to either get on the phone with those people and make an offer, or go out to the property and make an offer in person. Now that's what we did. We went out to the property, met the family at the home, made an offer, and that offer ended up getting accepted. Now that we have an accepted offer, we put a contract in place. And once we get the contract in place, now we can go sell the deal. So just to recap, we got the data, we text messaged all of the data, and we got some responses, and the people who responded we're now sending offers to, or going out in person, making offers in person, right? For this particular deal, we told them like, hey, we do buy properties, but in this situation, like we would want to see what the market would tell us and what this property could sell for on the retail market, right? So they knew that we may or may not buy this property, but we're going to help them get it sold. So what we do from there is we go and list our properties on Baycomb.com. Now, what Baycomb is, it's a flat fee listing service that allows you to list the properties on the MLS without actually being an agent or being the homeowner exactly. Now, to do this, you have to have the right wording in your agreements, okay? Now, we're not going to go over what's inside of our agreements on this video, But if you guys want more information on novations and how to get the right wording in your agreements, there's a link below to book a free one-on-one call with me. From there, we'll go over everything to see where I can best help you and advise you in your business. Okay? So we have the right wording in our agreements to list these properties on the MLS on the seller's behalf. Now, once we get the properties listed on the MLS, we then start receiving offers. Okay? Now, when we get these offers, we want to make sure the offers line up with our terms, right? Now, for this property, for example, we got it listed, I believe it was like October 14th, maybe October 20th, somewhere around that timeline. We got the agreement signed and we immediately got it listed on the MLS. Okay, now we received a ton of offers, okay? And a lot of those offers didn't really make sense. And for this property in specific, you definitely want to know what type of offers will work for your home, because this home needed a good amount of work. So it definitely was not going to go FHA. There's no way you probably could have gotten a VA loan for the property. So more than likely, we were looking to accept a cash offer, because a lot of cash buyers do actually pay retail prices. Some of them, you're able to find a lot of high paying cash buyers on the MLS rather than like PropStream or investor base, etc. So from there, knowing what type of condition this property was in, we knew it was either going to go cash or conventional. But we wanted an offer that suited the sellers the best and suited us the best, right? Because we want to get this done as fast as possible. We don't want to drag this out too long. You know what I mean? So we got a couple of offers. They didn't really make sense for the seller side or our side, so we had to wait a good little bit, right? Now, we vetted a lot of buyers. We had a lot of buyers who we could go with, and we ended up going with one buyer in specific who wanted to close before Thanksgiving. Now, I'm going to get into the HUDs here. Now, the HUDs are very important because no one that I've seen, maybe there's some out there, but I haven't seen many people showing HUDs like I'm about to show you. And I haven't seen many people who are willing to show HUDs, because 9 times out of 10, they're just showing you stuff that may or may not work. This is a real deal that actually works, and I'm showing you guys that it actually worked. Now, for this deal in specific, the buyer that we found wanted to close before Thanksgiving. However, with everything going on and the type of offer we accepted, we ended up accepting a conventional loan offer. Now, they wanted to close before Thanksgiving, but a lot of issues came up and we ended up needing to get another inspection. And then the lender wanted us to do some repairs on the property. And then after that, we were like, okay, this buyer doesn't really make sense for us because we're trying to close quick. Okay. So we had everything lined up to close. And then come to find out the week before Thanksgiving, we we're like, oh snap, this actually isn't going to close. And we promised the homeowners to close before Thanksgiving. Now, in this type of situation, this is where a lot of wholesalers back out of deals. And you leave the homeowners in a terrible, terrible situation, because they were going to use that money to feed their family for Thanksgiving, probably going into Christmas and things like that, right? And if I would have backed out on them just because our buyer backed out, well, now we just put them in a bad situation, and that's not how we do business around here, okay? So this is why it's important to have somebody like me or someone who's in the industry that knows what they're doing on your side, so you don't run into a situation like this. The Friday before the week we were supposed to close on Thanksgiving week, we actually canceled with the buyers. The buyers wanted the house really bad, but we were like, no, we don't want to deal with you. So instead of canceling with the homeowners, we bought the property ourselves. Okay, so this is where we're about to get into the HUD statement here. So I called up one of my lenders who does transactional lending. She actually had a bunch of money tied up with other closings that she couldn't lend me money. But since I've worked with her in the past, she referred me to one of her friends who was nice enough to lend on the property for us. Now, we broke everything down, how the deal was structured, that we didn't have a buyer in place. We had one, ended up having to cancel, etc., right? Now, this is a pretty big risk, right? So knowing this, we knew that we had to get this property sold ASAP. And luckily, this is just how it worked out. So as you can see right here, guys, we closed November 25th and we bought the property for $130,000. As you can see right here, this is the address, my business right here. These are my lenders, the people who loaned me the money on the property. And then these are the sellers, right? Okay, so jumping into this, these are like all the fees, all the title insurance, etc. And then we bought the property, as you can see right here, after all the fees and everything for $133,463.18. Now I officially own this property. Okay, so my goal is to get this sold as fast as possible. So a lot of people might be thinking, well, with Thanksgiving coming up, you're probably not going to sell the property that quick. Again, the stars aligned and we were wrong. On Thanksgiving Day, we actually had an agent call my dispo rep and say, hey, my buyer is super interested in this property, willing to pay cash, close next week. And we're like, dang, okay, let's take it. So, as you can see right here, this is the HUD for when my company purchased the property, and this is the HUD for when we sold the property. As you guys can see right here, name of seller, that's a bad arrow. Name of seller, my company right there. Here's the address right here. Settlement date is right there. And then we sold the property for, $175,000 cash. Here's how this HUD breaks down. Okay, so as you can see right here, here's where we use Baycomb. Oops, this is a little blurry, guys, so hopefully you guys can see this, but this is our flat fee realtor right here, Baycomb. As you can see right here, they don't get anything because they are a flat fee service. We pay them $99 up front. We get to list the property. They don't get any commission on the back end. Now, this was the buyer's commission right here. We ended up only paying him 1% commission. So his total fee was $1,750. And then we had an additional closing fee for $75. So our total fees were like $1,800 on this transaction. Okay, now let me break down the other fees that don't necessarily count because it wasn't my money up front anyways. So sold the property for $175,000. But keep in mind, we have to pay off our loans, right? So our loans were $133,463 for what we purchased it for. And then I paid the lender 1.5% for lending me the money, equaled out to $2,000. It was like $2,009. So $2,000 to lend me $133,000. So with all of those fees added up, everything from buying it and then selling it, I got to walk away clean with $37,732.28. And here is the actual wire transfer that came in on the same day to my bank account. So a lot of people don't break down deals like this because they don't want to let you know, like, sometimes if a buyer backs out, like, you have nothing else to do but buy the property yourself, because we could be unethical and we could back out of the contract and be like, oh, wash our hands with it. But at the end of the day, we're in the business to help people solve their problems, right? So this was the best case scenario because I didn't come out of pocket anything in order to buy this property. I bought it with zero of my own money and then sold it using zero of my own money and ended up making $37,000 in profit. Now, if you guys enjoyed this deal breakdown, I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the video as well. If you want to see more deal breakdowns just like this, make sure you guys leave a comment down below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And don't forget, guys, if you want to book a free one-on-one call with me, there's a link in the description below to do so. And in that call, we'll go over everything we can as far as knowing where you're at in your business, how to help you scale, or if you need help getting your first deal, we can do it just like this, and I can show you guys every single step of the way in order to get your first deal to the closing table. With all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next